Forget buying the dip. MicroStrategy buys the tip. We're going to talk XRP price action along with all-time high news in 2024. Genius Group buying more BTC as El Salvador cowers to the IMF.
Due to the graphic nature of this program, listener discretion is advised.
Look at the red up on the screen and you can thank 60 Minutes for that BS. I'll have that video linked at the end. But before we get into the crypto news, your comments come first. Hot, spicy, naughty, and relevant. Yes, relevant is the key. Maybe I'll share it at the beginning of the next video. Pete Soliday says, this is the first time I turned 60 Minutes on in years. Now I'll never turn it on again. Agreed. Totally had an opportunity to get a new viewer base and they blew it. Justice for All says, never turning into 60 Minutes ever again. They've just become as toxic as Vice News. Oh my God, I was a huge fan of Vice News back in the day. And then all of a sudden they went way crazy AF. I was just as upset as you, Klaus, while watching it. Yeah, the video I did this morning was really hard to do. XRP Alchemy says fake news legacy media 60 Minutes is apparently still butthurt that Trump won and now has a wider bipartisan support for his U.S. crypto capital agenda. Yeah, legacy media is being left behind. Why do you think YouTube and things like this are growing in popularity? Because we're not controlled by big sponsors and bullshit like legacy media. Did you see what Ben Stiller said about, oh, no, won't even get into it. Bitcoin's hit at 98,039 while ETH is 38.45. XRP down 7% at 241 while H-bar holding on to 30 cents. Super important. XLM fighting as well at 45.7 down 7% as well while ADA is at $1.11. Genius Group expands Bitcoin holdings to 18 million in BTC reserves. All right, look, it was bad with 60 Minutes, okay? But guess what? We've got floor support. That's good. You've seen several attempts here, right, to kind of push this even lower. XRP is holding. Zoom out to the month and you can see exactly what I'm talking about. We appear to be good above 230. Now, with that being said, Genius Group is doing what Sailor's doing with MicroStrategy. They're just not as big. Remember, I'm sharing this stuff with you because they're not buying the dip. They're buying the tip. Oh. Genius Group has significantly bolstered its Bitcoin treasury, acquiring 194 BTC at an average price of 92,000. Jeez. This move aligns with its BTC first strategy, which commits at least 90% of the company reserves to Bitcoin, with a target of 120 million in holdings according to a company release. So think, you're going to get more waves and waves and waves of people buying crypto. But what do you still got? You still got the anti-crypto establishment of what, everyone? 60 Minutes. Yeah, not good. MicroStrategy, well, they're buying the tip as well. MicroStrategy bought another 21,500 BTC for 2.1 billion from December 2nd to the 8th at an average price of, are you ready? 98,783. Oh my, they are in the red with that purchase. As of December 8th, MicroStrategy holds, this is crazy, 423,000 BTC acquired for 25.6 billion. Their average, 60,324. So they're up basically 50% and change, all right? He says, we will be buying Bitcoin at $1 million a coin. Probably $1 billion a day of Bitcoin at 1 million a coin, Sailor said. Dude, nuts AF. Here's what he said, and everything you see in this video, along with the other ones, are all linked to everyone in the description below. All right, not happy about this. I think this is bullshit, and I don't like the IMF. You know how we don't like legacy media? The IMF is right up there with me, along with the World Economic Forum. The World Economic Forum, if you're watching right now, go fuck yourself. I cannot stand you either. El Salvador seeks IMF deal by revising BTC law. According to the Financial Times, the government's proposal is to make BTC adoption voluntary for business instead of making it mandatory. Basically what happened was they made BTC a legal currency, saying if you walked into a place and you were like, yo, I want to pay with crypto, they would have to take it. Yeah, that's what the law was. Now, in order to get an IMF loan, the IMF is like, we don't like that. No, we don't like that you're forcing people into BTC, because then that means that we don't have as much control or power anymore. El Salvador still needs money, though. They still need funding. So, unfortunately, they have to kowtow to the IMF. The discussions between El Salvador and the IMF are reaching a pivotal point where the revision of the nation's Bitcoin legislation has become a central issue. Recent reports suggest that the IMF is prepared to provide up to $2 billion in loans from the World Bank and Inter-American Development Bank. This funding is intended to support fiscal stabilization and the necessary structural reforms within the nation. Notably, Salvadorian government is inclined to revise its mandate that requires businesses to accept Bitcoin. Instead, companies would have the discretion to adopt it as payment, which is very different from making it legal tender. They made it legal tender. If it was legal tender in your country, you would have to take BTC as payment. But now they're making it not mandatory, but voluntary. I don't like this. Prediction, will XRP hit a new all-time high before the end of the year? Okay. There is a lot of good news going on with crypto. A ton. Here's the problem. The assholes in control are still anti-crypto, and they're going to be in control now for about a month and a half, all right? So can we hit all-time highs when we have hit pieces like 60 Minutes come out? That's going to be tough. Can we hit all-time highs when Gary Gensler is still head of the SEC? Going to be tough. What about the SEC last week saying, guess what? We're going to deny all future ETFs because we're not dealing with this shit. Let the next administration deal with it. So even if they were going to give them approval, they're like, no, we're just going to deny everything. We'll let the next group take it. You still got who in charge? Who did Deaton not beat? Elizabeth Warren. She still commands a lot of power. So all-time highs 2024, I think it's going to be tough. You're going to have optimism in the market. And overall, I get that the screen is red. But XRP at 240 is still healthy. ETH at 38.30 is not the healthiest, but still healthy. BNB at 718 is good. ADA was hanging around, 30 cents for the longest time. XLM was hanging out at sub 10 cents for the longest time, and it's at 45. So we're still holding very strong, but we're not at near-term highs. We're not at near-term highs because the bad people are still in control. And one of the things that I've seen time and time again through these interviews, through all this, is them saying, we don't understand why the American public voted the way they did. They voted the way they did because they're not happy with the way things are currently. And those things that are bad currently are bad for crypto. Venture capital is not going to want to get in on this action if there's still some negativity. Think about this, right? A few days ago, a week ago, we were talking about some big juice hit prices for XRP. Remember this, like the 3rd of December, like a week ago? 271, 280, you know what I'm talking about, right? All of a sudden, it starts warming up to a bunch of people. We're talking XRP. We're like, yo, market cap is up, volume's exploding, this is juicy, I love this kind of stuff, and we're cool with that, right? Venture capital's like, yo, this is great. Rates are starting to come down. We're going to get some new regs here soon. It's going to allow us to put more money in. Maybe we could do a little bit of leverage pepperoni action. Awesome. And then all of a sudden, the SEC comes out saying they're going to deny all ETFs and crypto-related products. Then they promote a whole bunch of prosecutors within the SEC that are anti-crypto. Again, not good at all. Then on top of that, we get the 60 Minutes hit piece. Then we get VP nominee Walls saying, I don't understand what the public is doing. Maybe I have to learn more about the country I live in. So you still have that old guard, that traditional money system holding down crypto. Look at the El Salvador story, right? El Salvador says BTC legal currency. IMF is like, no, we don't like that. And you need loans from us. So if you want a loan from us, you're going to have to turn down your Bitcoin stance a little bit. That's what I'm saying. It's going to be hard to hit all-time highs in 2024 because the bad people with crypto are still in charge. Now, 2025, all bets are off, especially after January 20. But think about that, all right? We're going to be hanging out. We're going to be talking XRP January 2025. January 20th hits. It's not like all of a sudden everything is just going to turn around. You've still got the majority of these governmental employees being very anti-crypto. You still have a shit ton of people in the House, along with the Senate being very anti-crypto. You still got legacy media being mega anti-crypto. So until we start fixing and removing more and more of those problems in people, you're going to have problems touching all-time highs in 2024. But should you really be thinking about that in 2024? Because when I look at XRP price, right, and I go like this and I zoom out to the year, I go, look, I'm taking it, man. I'm taking it. We spent most of this time sub 60 cents, and now we're hanging out at 240. I will gladly take that action. We're also sitting with volume, about 10x more than what it was during this whole time over here. Check this out. I'm going to pick some 24-hour volumes randomly. Look at this. 1.1 billion, 1.4, 1.2, 1.7, 689 million, and now let's pick some random ones. 22 billion, 13 billion, 13 billion, 21 billion, 43 billion. So the market is definitely different, but the bads are still in control. But, bigs out there that believe in crypto, like Genius Group, are not buying the dip, they're buying the tip. Sailor says he's going to keep buying the tip, even if the tip means 1 million per BTC. So, optimism, yes, we have plenty of it. 2025 going into 2026 is going to be hot AF for all of us crypto fans out there. We just got to get through about a month and a half of crypto haters still being in control, kicking and screaming, fighting at the end, saying they don't understand why the American public voted the way they did. Well, they voted the way they did because you suck at your fucking jobs. There's a reason why traditional legacy media's ratings are going down, down, down. Because all they do is freaking lie. They have an agenda, and they've got sponsors that force their agenda. Well, guess what? I bring you the news whether it's good or bad, happy or sad. I do not have an agenda because I do bring you the bad news. I brought it to you this morning. It sucked. It was the hardest video I had to make in like weeks. And no sponsors here. So you get unbiased views on everything. Legacy media, you will be replaced just like the politicians are being replaced. But if all the damage they could do is stall us to $2.40 with XRP, cool. Take your best shot. Make this next month and a half as miserable as you can for us. Well, guess what? We've had miserable years with XRP for a while. We're all chiseled, we're all hardened, and we're all used to the BS. So seriously, we've survived a couple years of this BS. We could survive another month and a half. And when that month and a half is over and we start seeing some changes with regs, we start seeing some changes with policy, we start seeing some changes with traditional finance, you know what? I hope the door hits them on the ass on the way out. And you know what? I hope traditional media keeps suffering more and more and more. Because guess what? Traditional media has an agenda, and you saw it on 60 Minutes. You didn't see that video? Well, guess what? It's popping up on the screen right now. It's all covered in there. It's going to make your blood pressure boil as it did mine this morning. Watch it. Catch you later. Choo-choo, bitches.